And 1, 2, 3. We're debt free!
That's right. That was us on the Dave Ramsey show. We paid off $92,000 in 4 years. We're going to walk you guys through his 7 baby steps, and then we're going to talk about how we combine not only getting out of debt, but also how we got into homesteading, starting to get into farming, and utilizing those things to help us continue to live debt-free. Let's walk you guys through those 7 baby steps through Dave's Financial Peace University. All right, step number 1 of the baby steps is to save $1,000.
And that is an emergency fund. So it's designed so that you do not have to put everything back on a credit card. So if something goes wrong with the car, you're not having to put it on a credit card.
All right, step number 2 is the debt snowball. And this is probably the longest and hardest step to do. And the principle behind that is that you take all your debts, put them down, and you start with the smallest debt.
Not the one with the least amount or most amount of interest, but the smallest balance.
But sticking with the principles is start with the small, then once you pay that off, you take off how much you were paying that off and add it to the next one, and that's how you create the snowball. It just creates momentum.
Correct. So by the end, you're putting several $100s. If you have a lot of debt, you're putting several $100s at a time at the largest debt.
What did you see that said, I can do this, or we got to do this, or what was it?
I remember part of it. You know, I think it's at the end of the first class, everyone totals up their total debt and kind of sends it in. And there were 6 other families, but we were over half the debt of the total debt.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my word.
It was embarrassing.
This is awful.
So I guess out of embarrassment, it's like, oh man, we can't do this anymore.
All right, baby step number 3 is 3 to 6 month emergency fund. And this is after all your debts are paid off. So 3 to 6 month emergency fund, that would be just in case you lost your job, there was some kind of tragedy or something, or really major expense that you could act as your own savings account or your own lending agency, and you would just take from your 3 to 6 emergency fund, pay off whatever event happened, but then immediately go back to building that 3 to 6 month emergency fund up, right?
Yeah. So you have your $1,000 from step 1 already in that account, and you just add up 3 to 6 months, depending on your job. So if you have a very stable job, like a teacher who's tenured, we wouldn't necessarily need the 6 months. We can rely on 3 months and it'd be okay. If you are in sales or have some kind of commission job, you would probably want more like 6 months. And you just add 3 to 6 months of the living expenses. So if you were to lose your job, you're not going out to eat a bunch. So it's kind of bare bones what you need to live off of in a savings account.
All right, baby step number 4. This is getting into your retirement. So his guide was 15% goes towards your retirement.
Correct. And along the baby steps, even from baby step 1, if you were up until now putting any in retirement, you need to stop that and take that money and put it towards your debt snowball. It's a very temporary.
Have gazelle intensity. That's number 4. Number 5 is the baby step is kids' college, saving up for their college fund. And of course, that would depend on where your kids want to go, if they even do want to go to college. But that would be baby step number 5.
Yeah. And our financial advisor was able even to print off a list of local colleges and the amount, kind of based off of when they will be at school, so that we have an idea of how much we need to save for.
All right. So after kids' college, now you're tackling your mortgage. So this is kind of one of the final steps is baby step number 6, paying off your mortgage if you have one at this point. That rolls into baby step number 7, build wealth and
give generously. Give. Yeah. And throughout all of these baby steps, you are tithing. So as believers, we are tithing to our local church. So that's 10% off the top, giving back to God just a portion of all that he's blessed us with.
One tip that we do is we drive older cars. They're both paid off. My wife's Toyota Camry has 150,000 miles on it. I drive a 2004 Mazda Tribute with 245,000 miles on it. We even taught our daughter how to pay for cash for her car. Now, again, it's a 2004, 180,000 miles on it, but it runs great. One of the hardest things for me and our family is eating out. And one of the things my wife did was make a weekly grocery, what I'm cooking for dinner list, and that helps us stick it to that. But we also go out to eat once a week, but we budget for that and put that in our envelopes. So the question is, how did getting out of debt and homesteading, how did that come about? Well, it really started with when COVID hit and we were getting out of debt. And it made us reevaluate where we were spending our money, things that we were buying, and also transition into being more self-reliant, self-sufficient. And it's one of those things that we didn't spend a lot of money doing this. We actually recycled. So we took old flower beds that we really weren't using and we transitioned them over to chicken tractors. And there's been several videos that I've made where we have done chickens, meat birds, and you guys can check those videos out. That really kind of started the process when we originally had our egg layers. That was my wife's project. She built the chicken coop for them. They produce eggs for us, but it just evolved from there. And then that led into pigs, and I've shared videos on that as well. So we are trying to be more self-reliant, not eat out as much, and produce our own food, which we know the love, the care, how they were fed, taken care of. So it just reprioritized where we spend our money. We looked at what our checkbook was going out to each month, and that really tells you where your heart is. And we wanted to put our heart back into our homes. People talk about it. It's not going to be easy, but it's definitely worth it. So it's been a long journey. We are still debt-free, and we continue to invest in our kids' college fund. We are investing into our retirement more, but also trying to pay off our mortgage. So there's a couple things that we are trying to do and looking to expand kind of our homestead, take that one step at a time, not go into debt for that, and pay everything off with cash. And we are not financial advisors. These are things that work for us. We give full credit to Dave Ramsey and his Financial Peace University, our small group and our accountability group that helped us get started. And we try to pay it forward. So really that's what this video is for, is to pay it forward, hopefully encourage and inspire you guys that you can get out of debt. I was a doubter. I was not a believer. I trusted in the process and in my wife and her wisdom, and it all worked out because we are debt-free and we're going to continue to stay that way. And hopefully this will inspire you and encourage you to get plugged in at a local church. Go to RamseySolutions.com. You can check out their website for all the information. There's lots of debt calculators and things on there that's really cool, that you guys have tools that you can access to help you get started in this process. And that is the key, that you get started. If you're in debt, there is a way out. It just takes time, it takes commitment, and it takes a lot of work, but it's worth it. So we appreciate you for watching our video today, hopefully helping you to get motivated to get out of debt, and we'll see you on the next video. That's right. You tell them.